The visual is not important here. The music is not important here. The voice is not important here. What matters are the words. If you cannot listen to the words, you do not belong here. If you understand this, welcome to the Fate Club. The concentration of awakening people does not begin with movement in space, but with an inner alignment where individual rhythms gradually reach the same wavelength. It is neither an idea nor a belief, but a state of perception in which reactions slow down and attention stops scattering. People with this awareness do not actively seek each other, and yet they begin to appear in the same moments, in the same places, and within the same themes. Alignment does not arise from agreement, but from a natural attunement that unfolds beyond words. The same wavelength manifests as a silence in which there is no tension. When these people meet, there is no need to explain who they are or where they are going. Recognition is immediate and requires no confirmation. Their conversations move beneath the surface of ordinary sentences, and meaning is transmitted more through presence than through content. In this space, the spiritual plan is not articulated but revealed through the precision of timing and the calmness of decisions. Gradually, a field of alignment forms in which individuals function as independent points and at the same time as part of a wider rhythm. This rhythm is not collective in terms of identity, but resonates as a shared frequency of perceiving reality. Each remains themselves, yet the sense of separation fades. Connections arise without pressure for continuity, and yet endure because they are anchored in coherence rather than need. Alignment also changes the way connections are formed. People open without defense and without expectation of outcome. Relationships do not arise to fill something missing, but to allow movement in accordance with an inner line. The spiritual dimension appears here not as abstraction, but as practical clarity that guides steps without inner conflict. Each meeting feels like a confirmation of direction, not a correction. As the concentration of this frequency increases, the environment begins to change subtly. The need to assert oneself disappears and is replaced by the ability to be precise. People stop reacting to old stimuli and instead remain in observation. This shift does not create distance, but deeper presence. The same wavelength allows cooperation without hierarchy and creation without ambition, where each contributes what is natural in that moment. Spiritual alignment also shows in the fading need to name the process. Words are used sparingly, and the silence between them carries weight. People recognize one another by how they remain calm in uncertainty and move without resistance. Each contact has its own measure and duration, which cannot be accelerated or maintained by force of will. In this field, the spiritual plan unfolds as a continuum, not as a goal. There is no sense that something is missing or that one must get somewhere. Alignment creates stability that allows movement without loss of balance. Even when paths diverge temporarily, the frequency remains the same, and renewed meetings resume without interruption. The concentration of awakening people thus does not create a visible structure, but a subtle field in which reality is processed differently. Differences in opinion cease to be a source of tension and become mere variations within the same perception. Each individual remains autonomous and yet aligned, without the need to belong or separate. This state is maintained without attention and without validation. It is present as a quiet coherence that holds its shape only through precision. Alignment continues on its own, without effort and without intention, as a natural consequence of a shift in perception. The field remains stable even when unnamed, and its effect is revealed only by the way things fall into place effortlessly. In this extended field, social contact ceases to behave as an exchange and begins to function as resonance. Meetings happen without planning, and conversations end precisely at the point where everything has already been conveyed. In this space, people do not mirror one another, but align, eliminating the need for feedback. The presence of another person does not act as a stimulus, but as a stabilizing factor that allows one to remain clear without distraction. The same wavelength also changes the perception of time. Contacts do not feel delayed or premature because they occur at the moment they are usable. There is no pressure on continuity of relationships, yet long-term cohesion arises, not based on the frequency of encounters. Each connection has a precise function within the wider alignment and naturally dissolves when its role is complete. Thus, social contact becomes a carrier of spiritual movement without needing to be named. People support one another by not interfering with each other's inner line. The silence between them is not empty, but carries the information of alignment, requiring no confirmation. In this space, the spiritual plan manifests as the ability to remain precise even in the presence of others, without defense or adaptation. Beyond these mechanics, social contact itself becomes a form of inner resonance that nurtures subtle shifts in consciousness. Each interaction, no matter how brief, serves as a conduit through which the collective frequency of awakening is reinforced. People begin to sense the intentions and inner rhythms of others intuitively, creating a network of silent understanding that transcends language. This resonance is not a performance, nor does it require recognition. It simply occurs, as if each encounter is an echo of a greater harmony already present in the field. The spiritual significance of these connections is revealed not in overt expression, but in the way individuals find themselves naturally aligned with choices, movements, and timing, supporting the unfolding of each other's inner trajectory. In this extended spiritual dimension of social interaction, the presence of others becomes a mirror for one's own inner alignment. The subtle interplay of frequencies allows for adjustments that are felt rather than dictated. No one leads or follows. There's only the gentle calibration of energy that emerges organically. In such a space, trust and openness are inherent, not cultivated, and the sense of support is woven into the very fabric of presence. Individuals sense the vitality of others' intentions without verbal confirmation, and this unspoken clarity strengthens the continuity of the field, creating layers of resonance that stabilize both movement and stillness simultaneously. Each contact becomes a subtle instrument of collective attunement. Encounters do not accumulate as memories to be recalled or as relationships to be maintained. They exist as precise points of frequency alignment, as if every interaction is an opportunity for the larger pattern to express itself. The spiritual rhythm of the group unfolds silently, and each individual contributes through the simple act of remaining aligned, attentive, and unresisting. Social contact in this sense is elevated to a form of meditation in motion, where every meeting, every glance, every word or pause serves as a thread connecting consciousness across a subtle but tangible spectrum of shared awakening. If you understand this, welcome to the club.